This is the Game Jesters Gaming Update Podcast. Here with episode 18. We have quite a lot of things to go into this podcast here. The first one, Devil May Cry 5. We talked about that a lot last podcast. And so I have a little news since it's been out about a week now. And the sales are doing really well. It's actually Capcom's second biggest PC launch ever. The title is currently sitting at the all-time peak. It's sitting at the all-time peak of 88,735 concurring players for PC alone. And this makes it the second largest launch that Capcom has had for the platform. For perspective, Resident Evil sits at the third place with an all-time of 74,000, and Monster Hunter World, of course, takes their top at 329,000 players. So
okay, I was just about to ask you what number one was, because I was sitting here googling it nonchalantly, trying to seem smarter than I am.
Yeah, we got Monster Hunter World, their biggest game. Then it's huge game. It's a really good one. That's sitting at number one. But Devil May Cry 5, it's already, they didn't count in the console players for the Xbox and PS4. But with PC alone, they're boosting their stats up high with it. And the game's doing really well.
I know it had a good opening in Japan as well, but it didn't have the most stellar opening in Japan compared to some of the older Devil May Cry's, but it still had a decent, I think it was 165,000, which sounds small, but for Japan, that's huge.
Well, it's selling really well here, though. It's high up there.
Yeah, remember Japan is a small country. Well, Japan is not really as small, but compared to, the amount of people, and you go into perspective, it's pretty good for them as far as that. But it also reminds me, in Japan, they the media crate sales that are publicly available are allegedly starting, I think, in April rather, are going to no longer be publicly available. So you'll need to be a member of some sort of community in order to access them, some sort of gaming community to access them. And they were previously publicly available. Just a fun fact. Use it as you wish.
Yeah. So we just touched on that. What's next on your list? What do you got for the next?
Okay, well, I have some Fortnite news. I know a lot of people are leaving Fortnite. And
Apex Legend, they're all jumping ship.
And this is, I think, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think this plays a lot well into that as well.
Is it Ninja?
It's always Ninja. It's always Ninja. He jumped ship. Now, two things with Fortnite. The first one is not really about the game, but more about the dance lawsuits around the game. It was just recently now, officially the Supreme Court has released a statement of sorts and basically saying what we've talked about in the past, that you can't copyright dance moves. It's not something you can do. They did say, however, though, that fully choreographed routines can be copyrighted. So, like, if you're, Beyonce, and you have a whole dance routine from your music video from the start to the finish, no one else can do that in that exact same order. The loophole here is, if you just switch the moves around, you're technically not infringing on the copyright, because you're not doing the dance.
The two of us can jump up and do the floss dance right now, and we would be fine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could totally do the floss dance. I'm not going to, but I'm definitely not going to.
You're just ashamed.
I mean, you can floss. Show us your floss.
I'm good. We'll leave that to Ninja.
Jessica says, "Floss, please, floss." No, okay. But no, that was that with that for that. So I mean, that puts a lot of, it's still something that I think people are going to still try to somehow, keep doing. They're going to keep trying to copyright these dance moves, and it's going to keep getting shot down. I don't think it's the last we'll hear of it, but otherwise with Fortnite, I know there's been some controversy on their crossplay tactics now, because version 8.10 just got released, and now they're basically forcing crossplay upon you. And I think this ties into what I was just saying about how Apex Legends came out of nowhere and just kind of stole a lot from Fortnite, and now like a lot of their install base. So now, if you're on Fortnite, they're forcing you to, if you're PS4, you have to play with Xbox. If you're on Switch, you have to play with mobile. And if not, then basically you're just limited to the creative modes and playground mode, and that's it.
Huh.
And that's it's like that's it. Then
I liked it before where they allowed you to pick or choose.
Mhm.
But I guess they're
So
limiting their fan base is going down, so they're making you. They need to expand their servers, get more people in there.
and I think that's where they're going. So that's where they're going with the as far as they're gonna like force an Epic account on you now, and that's about the start with that. Is they're gonna now force you to go and to have an Epic account, and you have to play through your Epic account. If not, they're not just limiting it to this or that.
I've seen they've been taking a hit because they've been copying off of a lot of things Apex is doing now, like the respawning. They took that over and they're flat out taking that. And I did actually see there's a rumor going around that EA actually paid Ninja $1 million to go and switch over.
I saw that. I saw they had a big, and for him to actually start, and that's been getting a lot of controversy as well. People are, well, not really so much controversy. A lot of people are laughing it off because people are treating it as if it's some sort of big, crime of the century. So a lot of people are like, laughing it off, like, oh, a company paid a famous streamer to advertise the horror, and then, other people are just, of course, oh, Ninja's a sellout, blah blah blah, and so it's it's running its ways around there. But that's all I got for that. All I have for Fortnite. I know some people were upset with the way that's working now, and I know it's going to work better, especially, well, not work better exactly, but if you're played, the difference between now they're making Switch users go with mobile users. Those games are very similar. The Fortnite on the Switch and the Fortnite on the mobile, they run very similarly, so that makes sense. Whereas, the PS4 and Xbox One, they also run very similarly. So it makes sense from that regard. But I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the whole forced crossplay. Like, if I want to play, it's cool if I have the option, but I don't really like it forced on me. That's just me, though.
Well, maybe, especially the future where they just got 350,000 Apex players were banned on PC for using cheats, hacks, and all that. So if forced crossplay comes in that point when you're playing on console and you're playing with PC people, 350,000 of them that are using cheats, that's going to make the game a little, like, multiplayer is going to become a pain.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm catching up on some Facebook chat comments here because for some reason my Facebook is not not cooperating with me here. We have some chats here talking about think they're limiting it to simply weed out what platforms their fan bases are strongest and more prevalent and working to cater more towards those platform players. Agree. Floss from me, senpai. No. Cough, cough, single ladies, cough, cough. Yes, if you like it, you should put a ring on it. Yeah, that's caught up on the chat here. So
with that, we're gonna move into. I'm gonna start up first live little trailer here. Let me get it going from our Twitch stream live podcast here. Our next topic, we got one of I think my favorite on Nintendo Switch, Octopath Travelers. You said you had some news with this?
Yes, I do, actually. As far as Octopath goes, we have... well, this is supposed to be a prequel in the works, but the thing is it's going to be mobile exclusive, which is very interesting. For now, it's also exclusive to Japan. So that's the biggest news I have with Octopath Traveler. There is a prequel coming to the game. I guess it's going to... I don't know. I didn't play Octopath. It's still on my game. Uh-oh. What happened?
Oh, I was just saying, what? Octopath is one of the main reasons to get a Switch now.
Oh my god, I thought there was like a big problem. I was like, wait, what happened? What happened?
No.
Oh my god, panic.
I was just shocked that you never played Octopath.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, I didn't play it yet. I want to. I'm waiting for the price drop. But Square Enix made it, so it should get a price drop if it hasn't already, or be part of.
It is part of Nintendo's game thing, though. They don't really do price drops in their games.
No, they don't.
You can
They're
go
not.
back and look at Legend of Zelda #1, and it's still the same price as it launched at.
Yeah. I'm not
That was
sure
more
the
of a
reason.
joke, but
No, you're absolutely right though. I mean, I know you
yeah.
say that as a, but I'm agreeing because it's
But
100% true.
yeah, I can say for sure though. Zelda: Link Between Worlds. That's one I've been waiting for the price drop. It's 8 years old now, maybe, and it still has not dropped from $39.99.
Oh
Hasn't even
damn.
had a sale or anything.
But the thing is too, also people they don't trade them in, and then there's all sorts of things with that, and I mean, there's a lot of yeah. Japan does get all the good stuff. I was saying in the chat, Japan gets all the good stuff, so it's true.
Yeah.
They definitely do. I mean,
So
there's no
next,
lie with that. Japan gets a lot of the good exclusives. So, what were you saying? Because I'm like cutting you off. I'm like,
next up on our me got to get the reading specs on now.
ooh, Jessica's getting hot and bothered.
So we got anyone watching. Whoops.
On Twitch?
Locked out. So Captain Marvel came to theaters this past Friday, and it's already breaking records with its instant success. I wasn't sure how it was going to do with all the huge memes with everyone saying it's going to flop and all of that, but when it came out, it went way up. It skyrocketed. The film's box office debut soared to 455 million worldwide this weekend in the ticket
Oh,
sales.
wow.
And yeah, and that's 153 million from the North America alone. So their sales surpassed Beauty and the Beast, which was at 357 million before, which was this is the second largest for a comic book adaptation. It's just behind. It's the next movie right behind Avengers: Infinity Wars, which brought in 640 million, which is one of the top. And yeah, so it's doing incredibly well for itself. It's high up there. It's actually rating. It's the #1 female lead, which I mean, its only real competitor was what DC's Wonder Woman, which made 103 million during its first weekend. But
I got there's reasons I have issues with Wonder Woman. I just
yeah,
not with Wonder Woman herself. I thought the actress they got to play Wonder Woman. I was not
you never
a fan
saw The
with.
Princess Bride?
Wait, who never saw The Princess Bride?
You, I'm asking you.
Oh God, I haven't seen The Princess Bride since like 1992.
Oh, but yeah, same actress though, so I'm a fan. So I like the actress for Wonder Woman.
Are you sure that's the same actress?
You doubting me?
I am doubting you. I'm Googling this.
Google. We'll have to get a bet going here now.
I mean, you might be right, but I don't.
While you're Googling, I'm going to jump in with my stats for the next one we have up on the block. Another really big one was with Captain Marvel. Sorry, doing really well. The next one is Endgame. Endgame dropped a second trailer, which reveals a lot of new information showing off here.
I didn't see this. I mean, if I jump on Twitch, I will see it. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. So they got the. It looks like all the survivors. If anyone didn't notice, it was all the original Avengers team with a few stragglers here and there, but all the core Avengers are all the ones that are reunited back, that they're still around. And they showed us a little spoiler with the Legos again, with their the white suit, the new suit that they get. Nothing really big, but this movie is highly hyped, and it's coming out really soon now. And then the Spider-Man to follow May, and then Spider-Man.
Is it May? I think it's May.
I believe it's May.
In my head, it's May.
So
because there's a lot. Oh yeah, because there is because I know Detective Pikachu also comes out around the same time, and I know the box office predictions were talking about how there's still going to be some of the holdover audience from Avengers, so, and that's going to factor into how each movie does. So
yeah. And then, well, if you're a Marvel fan, now's a good time because they have a lot with the Captain Marvel, the end game, and his hair right there. Ant-Man's coming back, and he finds out what all went on. Then you got Spider-Man coming up, and then this kind of ends, and they transition into all new characters that'll be taking over.
Is it still the crappy Tom Holland version of Spider-Man, by the way?
I really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He's not gonna lie, I really like him as a person and a character, and he does. See, he's one of my favorite Spider-Mans now.
So I had it. Oh man, I was remembering. I think it was what? I think I liked the way Andrew Garfield portrayed Spider-Man himself, but then I loved the way Tobey actually portrayed Peter.
Yeah, see, I like Tobey Maguire. Or wait, was it Maguire?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking. But yeah, I like the way he did Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield did not like it all. I liked him as a person, didn't like the way he did Spider-Man.
He does have that kind of douchey persona to him, and
it was kind of his portrayal was more cringe than anything, and I found it hard to watch.
And I'm also sorry to the person in the chat room, but Gal Gadot's got nothing on Linda Carter as far as Wonder Woman. That's what I was trying to say earlier. So, you want to have a throwdown about this? No. Linda Carter, she's turning over in her grave. I mean, she's not dead yet, but I don't think she's... No, she's not. Okay. She's not dead, but if she was, she'd be turning over in her grave with what's her name?
Yeah.
That was my rant. We'll save that for the Rants and Raves podcast that we are the non-podcast that we're planning, the Rants and Raves stream that has nothing to do with the podcast, but it's just going to be a fun time for us to rant and rave about things. Yes.
Yeah. So, speaking of the podcast, so next up, quick little trailers here. Not a whole bunch of information on them, but the Harry Potter Go game version, which is Wizards Unite.
Unite.
Wizards Unite. This is going to take place years after the Harry Potter's books and the movies. So how the books ended in 1996 when they first were written. Now this game's going to take place more of now time base, and let me get the next trailer up.
And the twist is J.K. Rowling says you're all gay.
Yeah, we're going to ignore that for now. But this is well after the Battle of Hogwarts has ended in the Second Wizarding War. But it's kind of all the things that happened in that war are now reaching out and grabbing into the new Potterverse. Magical items throughout history are appearing in the world, including creatures, artifacts, and significant moments in time. I'm reading this if you can't tell right from their website. The British Ministry of Magic has tried to investigate what is called the calamity, and in conjuring with the International Statute of Security has established a task force of wizards and witches to help weed out and confounding magics that keep worming its way into the muggling world. They put a lot of things. Oops, I paused the trailer. They put a lot of things. That really
LOL. So do you have your Harry houses that you get to choose, like if you want to be?
I do believe they shouldn't have gotten rid of that. So they should have 4 houses.
Or Hogwarts houses. I don't call them Harry houses.
We know what you meant.
I can't name them. I know there's.
Actually, I just read the next sentence. We might not be. The player is one of many special agents of the Statute of Secretary Task Force entrusted with the responsibility of investigation. So you might not have the houses. You might be a whole different unit on its own.
So there's no Slytherin, Pegasus. I don't know what they all are.
Pegasus. I like
Pegasus. I don't know what they are. What are the 4 Harry Hogwarts houses?
But the next podcast, there's an update coming out with it. It's coming out 2019, but the next podcast, I'll have a lot more information to jump.
Speaking of updates for things like that, we have, I don't know if you want to talk about this yet, but we have Google Yeti and
Google. Yeah, let's jump into that. It's right up. I have something right off to show off with it.
Yeah, because Tuesday they have that big conference coming up, and you have the controller?
Yep, I'll have it up right now. I'm showing it off here. This is from their patent that I saw.
Okay, this I want to see because
Yeah, this is. I mean, it's nothing super spectacular or special, but they showed
Well,
off from their. They patent their own. They put out a patent, and this was from their images, from their diagrams. This is
yeah,
what the controller is going to look like.
I've been looking at it because I've been looking at this image, trying to see like what. Because at the bottom of the controller, there's what looks like a little.
This is a little microphone button here. We got.
Yeah, like the Google Now button. Like
Yeah.
you say, I don't know. You say hello Google. You say hello Yeti, or like.
It could.
So-
I mean, that's probably Google likes their voice activated stuff, so you might have a fully voice activated controller.
And is there anything on the back? What are the two buttons on the front facing above? There's like a center button. I don't know if that's like a home button.
It looks like it looks like a home button, your usual start button, and they did away with select, so I'm not sure. This could be their YouTube button. They said they have a button that takes.
Oh
you
yeah,
directly
right.
to
That
YouTube.
takes you to YouTube, and then you could watch the walkthroughs and things like that. Yep, I do remember that. Is there anything else like special that I know? I'm really hoping that because if you see the actual like image that Google is showing like for the preview video, the four buttons on the right side are just the colors of the Google Chrome icon. And I'm wondering if they're going to stay that way or if they're going to actually have like identifiers, or if it's just going to be the Google Chrome wheel colors, which is the green, the yellow, the blue, and the red.
Yeah.
So like if you're explaining someone to something, you say, "Oh, press the blue button." Like I don't know if they're going to have identifiers
It does
like A,
look
B.
from just a quick checkout here. Here we go. I got the mic button. They're not any identifiers. It's just color coded.
Unless they in the future plan on doing something with them, like YETI, the Yeti buttons.
Huh.
Oh yeah, they can work with that. I know the controller looks like it's slightly uncomfortable though.
It's a little box, but I mean, compared to the new what was it, C40 PlayStation controller, this is kind of how their new design is going. The more boxy look and adding in, this seems to be what they're. But yeah, that's all I really had to show off about the.
I mean, it looks really cool. I mean, depending on what they have it do, like because they still haven't said yet whether it's going to be an actual, console itself, or if it's going to be like completely. Well, I know they're doing cloud based. They're completely going with the whole cloud based, and doing things through Chrome. That much I believe we know. But as far as do go the route of having like a Chromecast type thing where you stick something in your TV, or is it just straight up through whatever device you own now? You can do it through the Google Chrome browser.
Yeah, it's starting to. I mean, with the stream-based thing, they're probably. I don't know. I guess it's too. We can read through the patent. It might say something, but possibly.
I didn't look at the patent in great detail yet because I know sometimes when they say these things and they patent these things, sometimes it all comes to fruition. Other times it does not, and then it's like a big. You never know. Because sometimes these companies, they patent things all the time and they never come to life.
That's true. Look at the Vita again. I like the Vita, but a lot of things that they put into that never came to life.
Yeah.
Like the whole connector they have on the one that never even touched.
There's a lot of that. And it's sad. I don't know what. I guess they have these ideas, but then they get to the point where they try to execute them and it doesn't meet the expectation they were looking for, or they're just like, nope, we're not going to do that. But Google will be announcing that on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern time. They will be holding a live press event, and we'll see what. I'm probably going to, if you're around, we can discuss it on Tuesday after, or we can wait till the podcast and see, the podcast on Friday, depending on how big of the news is, if it's like game changer or if it's just like, oh, that's all they're doing.
Yeah, I guess once Tuesday comes, we'll hit and we'll see. We might have a special podcast Tuesday, or you'll see us on Friday. Yes. You'll still see us on Friday regardless, so.
Unless you're Helen Keller, then I'm kidding. Mostly.
Oh, we forgot. When we're talking about movies.
Of course, movies.
We zoomed past them. We forgot about the one that we were going to talk about, the Dragon's Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma, yeah, becoming a Netflix anime. In the likes and the vein of Castlevania, and other animes that, well, Netflix actually has really pushed. Did we talk about one last week too, about an anime that Netflix was doing, or was it the week before? I felt like we talked about it.
Last week I talked about a few that they're picking up. Netflix is picking up a lot of stuff. They were doing The Legend of Zelda, but that's a live action.
But I mean, they're doing in general. They're really going full force into this anime thing, and they're becoming like an Netflix in general is becoming a very, like the go-to place to get a lot of original content. You look at they have tons of original TV shows. Some are good, some are not. Tons of original movies now. Deals with, they had Bird Box with Sandra Bullock, and then Adam Sandler releasing like 9 movies exclusively through.
Wait, do you mean the Bird Box woman?
She did not risk her life in Speed to be called the lady from Bird Box. But Adam Sandler had his own exclusive thing with them, doing like 9 movies, even though he's not very relevant anymore. But and now they have they're really becoming their own version of Crunchyroll, if you think about it, with how they're coming out with a lot of these exclusive animes and that you can't see anywhere else. So
yeah.
I didn't read much about what it's going to be about, though. I mean, I know it's based off of the, Dragon's Dogma, but I really didn't, delve into like how many episodes it's going to be, or because I still haven't even played the game.
True, that's okay though.
So I don't know if I'll understand it once I watch the thing and be like, well, what are they talking about?
Yeah, it'll be something. Well, now that it's came over to the Switch, you can jump into it now and play it.
True. Did it get released? I thought it was April. Or maybe.
Could be April. I forget the Switch's release dates.
I forget release dates in general because they all blend together anymore. But yeah, so we had. Well, what else did we have to talk about?
On top of the news one, while we're still on the news, there's in case anyone didn't see, James Gunn is officially back, signed on with the Guardians of the Galaxy to do.
Yes, I saw that. I mean, I have not been following the controversy, to be honest with you.
Oh,
so
I've
been
keeping up with it.
I know there's been a lot of different, because I've heard so many things said that everything from it was Trump's fault to I don't know.
Interesting.
And I mean, I don't know if it's the new blame Obama thing. Now it's like blame Trump. Like I really don't know if it's like like my dog died, blame Obama. If it's like the same thing. Remember when people did that? Everything was like, I'm having, blame Obama.
Good old, yeah. Even Obama was in on it himself.
Oh my God! Yes, because he was reading the mean tweets on Jimmy Fallon, and he's like something. Thanks, Obama. Yes.
Trying to eat his cookie. That's my favorite.
Oh my God.
Back to our podcast news, though. So, yeah, all the Disney, even though they said they're done with James Gunn, they parted way, they don't appreciate what he did, they split apart, and for 9 months they've been saying that. Everyone out of respect to James Gunn and all the people who took his side, all the writers, they refused to do anything with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. They kept going, they exhausted their entire list of asking everyone to come on and do it for them, and everyone declined it. So they had no choice but to go back to James Gunn. So that's where he's coming back.
So it was a thing where, okay, I had to Google it a little bit because I kind of looked at the loop. So he said something he said on Twitter 10 years ago, or is that what this was all based off of?
So it was 10 years ago. He did where he actually was part of this group that they purposely went on Twitter and made extremely racist and sexist and all that jokes to try it. It was like a funny kind of thing. It was like a really dark humor, black humor, kind of goofy kind of humor.
So then people lost their crap over something that he had said, 10 years ago. That's not relevant to what he said now, or how he.
Exactly.
Because people don't change their mind or grow up or anything.
Yeah. Well, even then, I can see the growing up. Even back then, he said none of the things he said were true. They were all jokes, and there was a few other people who were in on it with him, and they all posted it together as a joking thing. But even the jokes, they were a little dark for jokes. But yeah, like I said, 10 years, you grow up, and you don't find that funny
that's what
anymore.
I mean. Like, I'm definitely not the same person, thank God, that I was 10 years ago. So, I mean, And I look at some of the things I've said 10 years ago to people, and I'm like, oh my God, was I really that much of an a-hole about that? Or like,
Still, you still are. I mean,
oh, well, that's true. I mean, some things never change, but I mean, like, I was in my, in my 20s, and you do dumb stuff in your 20s. You say dumb things in your 20s, and then you learn from it, and you go on, and that's life, I think, in general. So
yeah.
But that happens a lot. Not to get too much off topic, but it does happen a lot. You look at people like, Hulk Hogan, for example, and stuff he said in the past got surfaced, and then granted it was terrible stuff, but still, that doesn't mean he's the same person. And it's just rant and rave, another rant and rave topic.
Yeah. But move on to my next topic is a game I know you haven't played, but this might be a good time for you to possibly
Overcooked 2.
Well, that one I'll get you to play that eventually. But this is a game that flopped right on launch, and the developers worked really hard to bring it back.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
What is No Man's Sky? What is?
They have a whole new kind of like a DLC bundle coming out for it soon, and this is changing their multiplayer. They're adding a whole bunch of new stuff to their multiplayer, including radical and social multiplayer experiences which empower players everywhere in the universe to meet and play together, which is what the game was originally designed to be, is a huge online, like, for your friends to jump in and play together, which it flopped, and they didn't even have multiplayer when they first launched. But then they launched the new release of the game with a huge patch that brought the multiplayer in, but it was still, I liked it, but it was lacking. And now they released another new launch that just brought multiplayer all together full force, and they're really big on multiplayer now. It's like, now's the time to jump on, and I might actually be able to talk you into getting it since the
Is
price
it on sale?
down.
Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if it's on sale, but the price really is down.
Did you say Sony was doing a massive sale this weekend? Like,
oh yeah, Sony. It's going on until the next 2 weeks, I believe. It started today. The next 2 weeks will be going on. There's a lot of games that are on sale. I already picked up Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm now on that list of people buying Grand Theft Auto 5 way after it's sold or been launched. I just picked up Grand Theft Auto 5. There's a ton of other games that are on sale for Sony. So
yeah,
now's your chance to check out that store.
Trying to read it now because it's Sony throwing a huge sale. Thousands of things on sale. 12-month. Oh, here's a big one. This is a really big one. 12-month PS Plus membership for $44.99. That's if you don't have that now, that's actually a good time to get. I mean, Black Friday is always the best time to get it because it's usually $29 or $39 depending on who's. But even at $44.99 is a really good price.
Yeah, it's like $20 off, I think, or that's like 15 off at 40, but 39.
Well,
it's 20.
It's $59.99 normally. So I mean, that's Unfortunately, the article I read didn't give me a list of games like I was hoping it would, but it just was like, that's kind of, you can consult this, hopeful. But, I was just trying to see what was, we got a lot of stuff on there. Oh, yeah. We got, oh my God, Ark is down to $30, and, God. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot. I can't even look at it all now. I just can't. I'm looking at it. Special edition of Dead by Daylight is $14.99, so I know it's a good time to get into that, I guess, if you're into that kind of thing. And
Dead by Daylight, they also have the DLC packs. I saw Leatherface and Freddy Krueger are on sale now. You can pick up, I'm sure all the other characters are on sale as well.
I just bought Flipping Death on the Switch, and now it's on sale on the PS. But it was still cheaper on the Switch because it was $6.79 to $7.99 on a little great indie game. But lots on sale. Definitely check it out. I'm looking through the list now. Literally, as I said, when they said there's literally over 1,000 things on sale, they were not kidding. There is literally 1,000.
Yeah, I was on page 68 before, and I was still going through a huge list of.
Yeah, I'm still going through it. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, so I'll have to take a look at that and definitely see what's going on there. And I'm probably going to buy some things, unfortunately, because I don't need to be spending money, but here I am.
I mean, it's on sale. You have an excuse.
Right? That's the best reasoning I've ever heard.
And here
But we had, what do we? Oh, Zombie is $2.99. What was originally Zombie U on the Wii U before it got ported.
Yeah, that did look interesting too.
Hey, for $2.99, I mean, you can't beat that, to be honest with you. Even if it sucks, you're paying $3. So, but I had a little bit of controversial news to share. Well, controversial. Well, we were talking a couple months ago about Jesus Strikes Back and everything. That was a game that was supposed to. Good old Jesus. So the alpha was actually officially released, and but they're charging you for. I thought it was going to be a free-to-play thing for the alpha, but I guess it's not. And so they are charging you for it, and the website takes you to like this really like sketchy-looking site, so I don't actually trust it enough to buy it.
Including you said it might not even be a real game.
Well, yeah, that's true. But then I did find gameplay videos, and oh god, it's weird. It's weird. It's very weird. I was kind of actually, when I heard about this, I was thinking, maybe it'll just be controversial, and then it'll just be an actual, like, politically satire that would be like it would be funny enough to where it was just like goofy, and you knew it wasn't serious. But oh god, I've been watching. First of all, the gameplay videos that I was watching, I don't know if it's the person who was recording the gameplay, but there are a lot of frame rate dips. So I don't know if that had a lot to do with just the game itself or the person.
I do know indie games like that, they do sometimes have choppy stuff like that in there when they first launch.
And but yeah, and then it just the between that and like the animations, it's the visually it's not that well. Of course, it's also still an alpha, so I mean maybe that will change. But it was just the video that I saw. I remember it was just like it had the guy basically I guess it was the character who's mimicking Donald Trump was just repeating the same 3 lines over and over again as they were running around with going on their spree, if you will. And oh my god, it was terrible. It was just terrible. It was literally the same 3 lines of dialogue. Like it was just so there's no hope for it. I was I went into it with an objective mind, like, hey, this might actually not be so terrible, and
then it flopped.
Yeah, but they're still committing to it. So allegedly, it's a real game, and it's got its own little cult following. So I don't know what that means for the future, but it looks like it's going to be. That was just in the news. It was the alpha. It turns out it is actually a real game, and the alpha, is available if you're willing to pay on a sketchy looking site. I'm not saying it is sketchy to me; it just looks sketchy. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's all I got for that. I was hoping it would be like, I wasn't thinking it was going to be Game of the Year by any means. I just thought it might actually be, something that was going to be controversial and playable, but it's just, in the state it's in now, it's not very good. So.
Yeah.
But that's my controversial news, so tuning back in now if you are
You had anything else, or was that the...
That was it. That's it for what I have in general. I just, I was like...
So, I had one final thing I was going to end the topic on, the podcast on. Something that took off really big, and a lot of PC gamers are finally excited and happy because they got the first 2, they're tasting the first 2 games, and then they stopped. But going to Microsoft here, the Halo Master Chief Collection is coming to PC.
Yes, I did see this. But wait, there's more.
So it's going to start out, they're going to get the Halo 1 and 2, the remastered versions like they have, and they're finally going to get into Halo 3, Halo Reach's campaign. They're finally going to get Halo Combat Evolved, Halo through ODST, and Halo 4 are all coming to PC. And they said Halo Reach is actually going to be free with it.
But does that all lead to the Halo Netflix series?
It could.
I don't know.
These might be launched because they're doing.
I swear I heard something about a Halo series. I don't know if I imagined that or
No,
if it
I
was
told you last podcast.
Yes, you were the one who told. It's like I didn't know. Did I dream? Was this something that really happened?
They have the end of this year, September and November, is the new Halo game that's coming out, and then 2020 next year will be a Halo TV series.
All right, so probably Netflix exclusive because that's what everything else is these days.
Possibly, I forget. I'm not sure. It might have been Netflix who bought them up. I forgot who's doing it.
Huh. Well, we'll definitely have to see.
But funny news about that, when PC gamers were so excited that they finally did this, launching all of the Halo games, that one person on Reddit said, you know what, I'm so happy. If this really does happen, I'm going to buy the developers a pizza. And they posted the trailer that was really going to happen, and they they bought them a pizza.
Oh, you really buy them a pizza? He like ordered Domino's right in the spot.
And so did about 900 other people in that Reddit forum.
This reminds me of, it's not related to gaming, but it reminds me of, there was an actress, singer, her name was Mandy Moore. I don't know if you remember her.
I remember Mandy Moore.
Yeah, she was like, she had said something in an interview one time. She was like, oh God, I'm so sorry to anyone who ever bought my first 2 albums. And I don't know like what I was thinking with that. And she's like, if you bought them, you know, I sincerely apologize. And then someone was like, well, what about a refund? And she literally sent them like the money for buying the 2 albums.
Wow.
Like, so, it just reminded me of that. And, oh God.
Well, if anything, 343 Industries wants people to stop buying them pizza. They said it's really piling up and they can't eat it all.
I mean, you could buy us pizza instead. I mean,
yeah, send it our way. We'll take it. We'll
yes.
pretend we released Halo on PC.
Yes, I'm gonna start claiming credit for it. I'll be like, hey, I'll start all my my podcast off with, hey, this is the developers of Halo, and I don't know what our names are because you know we're Halo now, so we're Master Chief. That's who we are. We are Master Chief.
Send us a pizza, please.
Oh my God! Now I want pizza. You're killing me now with this.
But that wraps up all the news that I have, and that's a work that comes right to our time limit.
Yeah, and thankfully just in time. So with that being said, you know, we thank everybody who tuned in on our various platforms today. So if you're on Facebook, congratulations, and I'm glad, you know, to get some interaction on the chat this week. So thank you to those who are chatting on both Facebook and Twitch. I did notice as I was going through Twitch, you know, there was some questions on Twitch. One of them was about Octopath, I think, at one point. When we were showing off gameplay of Octopath, there was someone there mentioning how they loved Octopath or something. So huge shout out to you guys and love. We appreciate it. And you know, we're coming up to our 20th episode. I don't know if we're going to do anything special for the 20th. We haven't decided that yet, but
I think probably will. Yeah. I might even have something for another giveaway to do. Might be a little easier this time, but I think I do have something for the 20th.
I have something in mind for the 50th. But I would like, you know, the 50th. I know that's a while away. Well, not really. That's 30 some weeks away. So that's what. Do the math. I can't do math because obviously 30 weeks. Oh my God, that's like 3 months away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some roughly, because what, 4 weeks? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
a little over 3 months, maybe 4 months. Oh, 4 weeks. No. Oh my God, my math is really terrible now. 4 weeks. 5 months. Oh my God. Yeah. No, 6 months. I don't know.
It's okay. Either way.
I failed math, but no, lit AF, yes. It's my life. No, but yeah, I do have something planned for the 50th. But I'm hoping our Facebook likes correspond to what I have in mind for that. So I do want us to have a nice reach on Facebook before that happens. So we'll see whatever happens first.
Until then, see you guys next week.
That's all I got. Yep. And end podcast. 30 weeks is about 7.5 months. Thank you. Now that I feel stupid. Just cut that part out.